midheaven, or the highest point in the natal chart, represents our vocation, our reputation, and the ultimate contribution to the world that others experience. As it progresses through the zodiac, it becomes a dynamic guide for our evolving understanding of ambition and success, as well as purpose. And this gradual journey urges us to redefine what it means to leave a lasting impact, teaching us profound lessons about who we're becoming and what we're called to create. When the Progressed Midheaven moves through Aries, life asks us to be bold trailblazers. We are carving out a path where none existed before. Here, leadership is not just about standing at the very front, but it is about daring to take action before certainty arrives. The lesson is one of courage, to trust instinctual impulses, and to overcome the fear of failing publicly. It reminds us that sometimes our greatest legacy is simply being the courage that others lack to take a path less traveled. As it glides into Taurus, the focus shifts into endurance and the value of building something tangible. Goals become less about immediate gratification and more about creating beauty and stability in one's life. The universe teaches patience, showing us that lasting success requires steady and deliberate work. Like a farmer tending to his crops, we learn that roots must be nurtured before flowers bloom. Our legacy becomes one of craftsmanship, and it's rooted in the values of integrity and sustainability. In Gemini, the world becomes a classroom and curiosity becomes a compass. Our ambitions are no longer confined to traditional pathways. Instead, communication and connection, as well as adaptability, can take center stage. The lesson here is flexibility, learning that goals can evolve just as swiftly as, new information will arrive. So we come to understand that sometimes our greatest gift to the world lives in the ideas that we share, in the conversations that we spark. Now, Cancer invites us to explore the intersection of personal fulfillment and public contribution. Here we learn that nurturing others can be just as valuable as achieving external milestones. The path forward involves vulnerability, intuition, and compassion. This progression teaches that a legacy is not always about what we achieve, but how we make people feel and the emotional safe havens that we create. When the Progressed Midheaven moves into Leo, the spotlight beckons. Life challenges us to embrace authenticity and creativity and self-expression. The lesson here is one of self-confidence, to understand that shining brightly does not dim the light of others. We are asked to become symbols of inspiration, showing that living fully in one's truth can be the most enduring gift in the world. Virgo marks a period of refinement and service. The universe calls us to examine the details, to improve processes, and to devote ourselves to meaningful work. Here, humility and dedication become our guides. The lesson is that perfection is not the goal, improvement is. So we learn that contributing behind the scenes can create a ripple effect, making the world better in countless unseen ways. Libra brings harmony and collaboration to the forefront. Success becomes less about solitary achievements and more about fostering partnerships and balance. The universe teaches us to seek fairness and beauty and diplomacy in our pursuits. The legacy of this period often lies in the relationships that we cultivate and the bridges that we build, reminding us that cooperation can lead to greater achievements rather than competition. Scorpio calls for transformation and depth, and this progression urges us to confront fears and to release outdated ambitions, to rise from the ashes of past failures. The lesson here is about embracing change and understanding that endings are often necessary for rebirth. Our legacy becomes one of resilience, a testament to the power of regeneration and the courage to dive into life's mysteries without flinching. As the midheaven progresses into Sagittarius, the horizon expands. The universe beckons us to explore, to learn, and to teach. Goals become infused with a sense of adventure and higher purpose. The lesson here is to trust in the journey, knowing that wisdom is found along the way, not just at the destination. So the legacy we leave during this time often involves spreading knowledge and inspiring others to seek their own truths, and of course, embracing the joy of discovery. Capricorn marks a return to structure and responsibility. The universe demands discipline and maturity and a commitment to long-term goals. The lesson here is that true achievement requires persistence and integrity. Legacy becomes less about personal glory and more about creating enduring institutions or frameworks that benefit future generations. Aquarius brings innovation and individuality. Success now lies in breaking free of tradition and envisioning a better future. The lesson is to embrace uniqueness and to trust that thinking differently can spark progress. The legacy here often involves revolutionary ideals or social reform or contributions to technology or collective growth. And finally, in Pisces, it whispers of surrender and intuition and spiritual fulfillment. The universe encourages us to let go of rigid goals and instead flow with divine inspiration. The lesson is to trust in the unseen and to understand that success is not always measurable. During this time, our legacy often becomes one of compassion and creativity and healing, offering the world a glimpse of something more transcendent and timeless. So, as the midheaven moves through each sign, it reshapes our understanding of ambition and success, as well as legacy. We are reminded that life is not a static pursuit of living, but a breathing journey of growth and purpose, as well as transformation. And through each phase, we become closer to becoming the fullest, most authentic version of ourselves, leaving behind a legacy that actually truly matters because it moves, it fluctuates, it changes, and it grows. Now, when the progressed sun reaches the midheaven, it really illuminates our life path with clarity and purpose. This is a time to step fully into leadership and to claim our identity in the public eye. The universe calls us to embody confidence and courage, as well as authenticity. Recognition may naturally follow as we align with our core essence. The lesson here is to lead from the heart and to shine without seeking approval, trusting that living our truth is its own reward in some way. Now, when the moon, the progressed moon, transits the midheaven, it signals a deeply emotional period where our intuition and our empathy and our nurturing qualities become central to our professional goals. Our public image, it softens as, we are seen for our humanity rather than just our achievements. This transit often involves, caregiving roles, creative pursuits, or work that involves some sort of emotional healing. The lesson here is to honor our emotional wisdom and to recognize that vulnerability can be a true source of strength and connection. It's also possible during this time that the role of our family life or our home life becomes paramount. These become very telling stories in which we can learn and grow from. Now, when Mercury progresses to the midheaven, communication becomes our most powerful tool. Our career may shift towards teaching or writing or media, or roles requiring critical thinking and networking. So there is an urge to share ideas and to connect with diverse groups. The lesson is to speak with integrity and to listen actively and to use knowledge to bridge gaps between people. Now, progressed Venus on the midheaven brings focus on beauty and harmony and collaboration in our professional life. So creative fields, diplomacy, partnerships, they may flourish during this time, and we are often perceived as charismatic and approachable. So this is a time to align work with passion and joy, creating a career that's infused with love and artistry. The lesson is to value pleasure and cooperation and beauty in the pursuit of our goals. When Mars crosses the progressed midheaven, with its fiery energy, it propels us into a period of bold action and ambition. So, this is a transit that fuels a desire for leadership and competition and the courage to fight for our goals. It may involve stepping into a high-stakes environment or taking risks to carve out a unique path. The lesson is to channel assertiveness wisely, balancing the drive with patience and collaboration. So mastery of our impulses leads to some level of sustainable success during this time. Now, with Jupiter progressing to the midheaven, expansion, growth, and opportunities are abound. So the world seems to open its doors, inviting us to step into roles of mentorship, teaching, or exploration. So there's a sense of optimism and a desire to make meaningful contributions on a grand scale. The lesson is to recognize that true success involves sharing wisdom generously and remaining open to continual learning. When Saturn progresses to the midheaven, hard work and discipline, as well as responsibility, become defining themes. This transit often brings challenges that test our resilience, requiring us to mature and commit to long-term goals. Success may be delayed, but the rewards are long-lasting. So the lesson is to develop a strong foundation built on integrity, persistence, and, of course, accountability. This is a time to claim authority and respect, especially through earned achievements. Now, when Chiron enters the progressed midheaven, It's a profound invitation to turn wounds into wisdom. So public roles may emerge that center around healing or mentoring or guiding others through transformative experiences. So we are seen as a figure who embodies the paradox of strength through vulnerability. The lesson here is that our deepest pain can become our greatest gift when we learn to integrate it and use it to serve others. So this is a time when our legacy may involve being a bridge between suffering and healing. With Uranus on the midheaven, life takes a turn towards the unconventional. Sudden changes in career or public standing are often common, and there is a desire to break free from societal norms. So innovation, technology, and social reform may actually become central themes during this time in one's life. The lesson is to embrace authenticity, trusting that standing apart from the crowd can inspire lasting change. Freedom and originality pave the way to success. So when the progressed Neptune is on the midheaven, it brings out an era of spiritual, creative, and imaginative pursuits. So clarity around career goals may, temporarily dissolve, leading to a period of uncertainty. So this transit offers the gift of divine inspiration and intuition. The lesson is to surrender to rigid ambitions and to trust in the flow of life, allowing intuition to guide our contributions in the world. Success comes through service and compassion and artistic expression. When Pluto progresses to the midheaven, then transformation becomes inevitable. We are called to step into roles of power and influence, often after enduring significant professional or personal upheaval. So this transit requires us to confront fears and embrace some level of profound inner growth. The lesson is to wield power ethically and to do it responsibly, knowing that true strength lies in transformation and rebirth. Our legacy at this time, becomes one of resiliency and, of course, transformation and empowerment. So the journey of progressed planets to the midheaven, it marks a pivotal moment in our life, inviting us to redefine success and purpose. Whether that is through healing or innovation, leadership, or creativity, these celestial guides remind us that our legacy is shaped not just by what we achieve, but actually who we're becoming along the way. So as the progressed midheaven moves through the zodiac, it reflects an unfolding journey of personal evolution in career, reputation, and life purpose. So these changes often mark, a subtle yet powerful shift in how we perceive success. And each transition offers profound lessons and advice for navigating the terrain of destiny. When we're moving from fire to earth, for example, the shift teaches us, grounding after periods of inspiration and bold pursuit. Goals become more practical and deliberate, urging a focus on stability and craftsmanship. We're looking more at long-term outcomes during this time. Passion alone cannot sustain success. Structure and discipline are essential. So the advice is during this time to, really slow down and build with intention, break ambitious visions into tangible steps, and trying to find joy in the process of things. When we're moving from earth to air, it lightens the load. This is, a shift that encourages a release of rigid structures and a turn towards intellectual pursuits, social networks, and innovative ideas. Success isn't just about hard work, it's also about adaptability and connection. So stay open to new perspectives and new opportunities. Collaborate, communicate. Let curiosity guide you towards fresh possibilities. When we're moving from air to water, this transition, it moves from the head to the heart. So emotional intelligence, intuition, compassion, they all take precedence over logic and detachment. So legacy isn't, so much about how you touch hearts as it is about what you actually accomplish. Trust your intuition. Create space for personal reflection and emotional growth. Let empathy kind of dictate your professional decisions. When we're moving from water to fire, this journey is, reigniting ambition and self-expression after periods of introspection and emotional depth. So this is a time to take bold action and to lead with confidence. So after understanding the depths of emotion, it's time to reemerge, with some level of renewed courage and vitality. So it's good to step into leadership roles, trust your instincts and pursue your goals with passion and authenticity. So the journey of the Progressed Midheaven, it's a profound reminder that, life's purpose is not static. It evolves just as we do. So what once defined success may actually crumble under the weight of new wisdom, forcing us to reconsider what truly matters. We are not born knowing, exactly what our contribution will be. It becomes something over time, and it's molded by our experiences, our failures, and our triumphs. The universe is like a great sculptor. It carves away at our ego. It shapes us into something more refined, something more authentic, and capable of meaningful creation. So each transition of the midheaven demands that we learn to dance with change. When it moves through fiery signs, we're called to take bold steps and to believe in our creative force. But as it passes through earth signs, we're asked to slow down, to build foundations, and to commit to something greater than, fleeting inspiration. So in air signs, we're going to become learners and teachers, forging connections and adapting to life's complexities. And in water signs, we dive deep, allowing emotion, intuition, and spiritual understanding to really reshape our goals. These cycles reveal that success isn't, merely about external validation or accolades, but actually about aligning with the truth of who we are at each stage of our life. So sometimes our legacy looks like innovation and leadership, and at other times, it's the quiet nurturing of a family, a creative passion or community. So the world doesn't always celebrate every form of greatness, but the Midheaven's journey reminds us that recognition isn't the only measure of purpose to be fulfilled. There will be moments when the road ahead feels uncertain. Progressed Midheaven shifts often bring unease, and they signal what once worked for us no longer fits. This discomfort is not a sign of failure, but a call to realignment, like a tide. It retreats back to reveal hidden treasures beneath the sand. And these periods of disorientation, they uncover truths that maybe we have ignored. They ask us to release attachments to outdated definitions of success and to trust that new pathways are forming. even, when they're not visible yet. A critical lesson from this journey is the importance of adaptability. So the person who clings rigidly to a single goal, they will struggle as the winds of change inevitably blow. Just as trees bend with the storm to avoid breaking, we must learn to adjust our ambitions, without compromising our values. So progress does not always look like moving upward in a straight line. Sometimes it looks like stepping on the sidelines, pausing, or even like retreating before leaping forward again, So equally, vital is the lesson of trust here too. Trusting ourselves, the timing of the universe, the wisdom gained through each phase. So like when Chiron crosses the midheaven, for instance, it teaches us that even our wounds can become gifts, when we're willing to transform them into tools for healing others. And similarly, Neptune's passage, it whispers that not all contributions need to be concrete. Some legacies are found in dreams, or in compassion, or in inspiration, or the imagination. So these moments remind us that legacy isn't always built about what, we can make other people feel or what we achieve, but actually about like the footprints that we leave behind on a spiritual level. So to navigate these transitions consciously, it's helpful to periodically reflect. What do I value now? What lights me up? What do I need to release? Such questions guide us towards alignment with a version of success that resonates with our ever-evolving soul. Goals that once seemed paramount might actually fade, and that's okay. Growth means allowing ourselves the freedom to change, without shame or guilt. So ultimately, the Progressed Midheaven invites us to embrace the fullness of our becoming. Each sign, it passes through, it shapes us. It teaches us resilience. It teaches us about different parts of our personality. It teaches us compassion, courage, wisdom. So really, as we journey through each one of these phases, our legacy, it becomes not just a destination, but a story actually woven through every action, every relationship, and of course, every moment of clarity along the way that we experience. And so when we truly honor this unfolding process, living authentically with purpose and with adaptability, we find that our greatest contribution isn't just what we leave behind, but who we become in the process. And truly, that is the most important part of astrology. We often want to reflect on these outward circumstances, what we're doing, what we're achieving, our success, our status in the world. But rarely do we reflect on what success means on an internal level, and how our actions and where we're spending our time, energy, how that affects the other people around us. Our public reputation doesn't just belong to us. It belongs to everyone that we touch along the way. People are mirrors. We have an enormous effect on everyone around us. I often call this the Midas effect. Do you want everything around you to touch to turn to gold? And I'm talking emotionally. I'm talking on a deep level. Are we building understanding in our relationships? Are we building compassion in our relationships? Are we building trust in our relationships? Honesty? Do we walk into rooms where people can be authentic with us? What are we cultivating in our relationships? These are the things that matter. Anything else is just surface level. So these are all things to consider when looking at the Progressed Midheaven. And remember, your journey is always unfolding and always changing. Where you are today might not be where you are tomorrow, and that's okay. So keep changing with the tides. Keep looking to the stars for growth, and take care on your everlasting journey through the stars.